The Legacy of Lee Soon-jae, the Man Who Raised a Nation. On November 25, 2025, the Korean entertainment industry didn't just lose an actor. It lost a father, a grandfather, and a guardian of its history. Lee Soon-jae. The name alone commands respect. For 91 years, he walked among us, and for nearly 7 decades of those years, he lived 1,000 lives on screen. He was the king who ruled with an iron fist, the doctor who healed the poor, and the grumpy grandfather who made millions laugh until they cried. But who was the man behind the scripts? What fueled his relentless passion until his very last breath? Today, we don't just mourn a star. We celebrate a lifetime of wisdom, sacrifice, and an unyielding love for the art of acting. This is the untold story of the nation's grandfather, Lee Soon-jae. The intellectual beginnings. To understand his ending, we must look at his beginning. Born in 1,934 inches, Hori-yong, North Hamgyong Province, now part of North Korea, he experienced the turbulence of history firsthand. But unlike many actors of his generation who stumbled into acting for survival, Lee Soon-jae chose it out of pure intellect. Did you know that he was a graduate of the prestigious Seoul National University, majoring in philosophy? In the 1,950 seconds, acting was considered a lowly profession, often looked down upon. A philosophy major from the nation's top university becoming a clown was unheard of. But Lee Soon-jae saw it differently. To him, acting was applied philosophy. It was the study of human nature. He once said, "Acting is not about showing off. It is about understanding the soul of another human being." This intellectual depth is exactly why, for over 60 years, his performances felt so incredibly real. He didn't just memorize lines, he analyzed the human condition. The Golden Era and the Master of Versatility. Throughout the 70 seconds, 80 seconds, and 90 seconds, Lee Soon-jae built a fortress of credibility. He became the face of authority. If a drama needed a king, a chief surgeon, or a CEO, Lee Soon-jae was the first call. He was a pillar in the history of K-dramas. Younger fans might not know this, but he was a central figure in works that shaped the Hallyu wave before it even had a name. His diction was perfect. His voice, commanding. He was a perfectionist who had memorized not just his lines, but his partner's lines as well. However, being a serious actor carries a risk. You can become distant. You can become scary. By the early 2000s, the younger generation respected him, but they found him difficult to approach. He was the scary teacher figure. But true legends know how to reinvent themselves. And in 2006, he made a decision that would change his legacy forever. The high kick phenomenon. Enter unstoppable high kick. At over 70 years old, Lee Soon-jae took a role in a sitcom. It was a gamble. He played a petty, porn-watching, flatulence-hiding grandfather. It was shocking, it was hilarious, and it was brilliant. Why did this matter? Because it shattered the wall between him and the youth. Suddenly, the scary teacher became the funny grandpa next door. He wasn't afraid to ruin his prestigious image if it meant bringing joy to the audience. This role earned him the title, the National Grandfather. It proved that dignity isn't about always looking serious. True dignity is having the confidence to make people laugh. He taught us that it's never too late to change, never too late to have fun, and never too late to connect with a new generation. the human behind the legend, family, and love. But amidst the applause and the laughter, there was a quiet sacrifice. Lee Soon-jae often admitted that he was not a perfect father or husband. In a tearful confession, he once shared that he spent more time on set than at home. His wife, Choi Hee-jung, was a talented dancer. She gave up her own dreams to support his. Lee Soon-jae famously said, "My wife is the reason I stand here. She managed everything so I could act." He lived a life free of scandals, a rarity in show business. No drinking problems, no gambling, no affairs, just work and family. He lived with a strict moral code, believing that, as a public figure, his life was a message to society. He famously never made NG's bloopers because he didn't want to waste the staff's time. He respected everyone, from the director to the youngest lighting assistant. That was his true class. The final act in Legacy. In his later years, when most would retire, he took on challenges like Grandpa's Over Flowers, traveling the world, showing us his curiosity and his fluency in languages. He showed us that aging is not a decline, it is a privilege. Lee Soon-jae didn't just leave us with movies and dramas. He left us with a blueprint on how to live. He taught us to be professional, he taught us to be humble, and he taught us that passion has no expiration date. The camera has stopped rolling. The stage lights have dimmed. But the lessons from the Patriarch of Wisdom will echo in the Korean entertainment industry for centuries to come. Thank you, sir, for every laugh, every tear, and every lesson. You have worked hard. Now, please, rest in peace. What is your favorite memory of Lee Soon-jae? Was it his wisdom in historical dramas or his laughter in High Kick? Please share your condolences and stories in the comments below. Let's keep his memory alive together.